All right, welcome everybody to our first awkward science video of the living Earth. I, of course, am Mr. Morales, and I want to tell you guys a little bit about the way that ecologists organize living things on this planet. If we start at the most basic level of all, that is the individual or a single organism. So, what's an organism? We think we know, right? It's one thing, one living thing. Well, to be a little bit more specific, it's one member of a species. What's a species? Well, a species is a group of things that can get together and reproduce with each other and produce fertile offspring. So before you start going on about, oh, tigers and ligers and lions and all the crazy offspring that you've heard of, most of those offspring are infertile, sterile. They cannot produce second generation ligers and things like that. So forget about that. So a species is a group of things that can reproduce with each other and create fertile offspring, and one of those is an individual. And that is our smallest level of organization that an ecologist can study. If we take a step up, well, then we have a group of a species, which we call a population. So a population, like in the picture above, is a bunch of wildebeest hanging out together in a herd. But it's just the wildebeest. That is a population. So a population is multiple members of a single species. Now, of course, that's not usually the way things work out in nature, though an ecologist might just be studying one population. They are often mixed in with other groups of living things, and that's what makes a community. So a community is multiple populations within an area, kind of commingling together maybe. But that's the typical situation that we find out in nature. And an ecologist might be looking at how a population functions with other populations so that they can better understand how that community works. Now, to take a step up from the community level, we would be looking at an ecosystem. So in the picture that you see here, you see the wildebeest, you see the zebras, and there's probably some other critters that are mixed in there. But also very importantly, you're seeing grasses, you're seeing trees, and you're also seeing the non-living things. There might be dirt under their feet, let's assume. There's definitely air all around them. There is a hot African sun. Those are all factors that are part of the ecosystem that they live in. Now, if we go up a level from an ecosystem, we'd be looking at a biome. So a biome is a collection of ecosystems that are all kind of unified by a similar climate. They usually have similar kinds of plants, and as a result of the similar kinds of plants, then they have similar kinds of animals. Now, biomes don't all have to be right next to each other like most of those others do. You can have a tropical rainforest in South America in the Amazon, and you can have one in the Congo River Basin in Africa. But they have the same kind of climate, and though not maybe the same kinds of animals, they have very similar types of animals. We take a step up from a biome, well, now we're talking about every living thing on planet Earth, as well as all of those non-living factors that contribute to them being here. And we call that the biosphere. So the biosphere is the collection of all living things and their environments on the planet. So in summary, we can kind of think about this as like a Venn diagram where it's not overlapping, but like one thing is inside of the next bubble, which is inside of the next bubble, inside of the next bubble, or maybe like Russian nesting dolls, where you've got an individual at the smallest level, and then a population, a community, an ecosystem, then on up to a biome, and then a biosphere. So it gets bigger and bigger. And ecologists can study nature in all its grandeur and at all those different levels. All right, I hope that helps to clarify the different levels of organization. You're sure to be asked about